That's the sound of the police. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the lockdowns. Up. So I don't know if you heard about it, but if you haven't heard about it, I'm going to tell you about it. Anyways, Jenelle Evans from 16 and Pregnant, Teen Mom 2, Teen Mom OG, that whole franchise that lasted way longer than it should have. Her and her current husband, David Eason, have speculations surrounding their potential arrest sometime soon. Now, if you don't know who Jenelle Evans is, she was originally on 16 and Pregnant. She was 16 and pregnant, and she was a consistently controversial character on that show. We got to watch her go in and out of jail, in and out of rehab, suffer with addiction issues, enter in and out of tumultuous relationships. She just had a lot going on. And we even got to watch her sign over custody of her son Jace to her mother Barbara back on the TV show 16 and Pregnant. Now, I have my own opinions when it comes to Barbara, okay? Do I give her props for giving her grandson, as stable of a life as she could, because obviously her daughter wasn't doing what she needed to do? Yes. But do I think that she really is just this wholesome, loving grandmother who just did all of it out the kindness of her own heart? No. We got to see firsthand that she very much got enjoyment out of being able to hold Jace over Janelle's head. And we're also not going to sit here and play dumb and act like we don't know that Jenelle turned out the way she did because she was raised by Barbara. Her and Barbara are two feathers of the same bird. She acts just like her mom. Jenelle is very hot-headed. Barbara's very hot-headed. Jenelle has a history of tumultuous relationships. Barbara has a history of tumultuous relationships. I mean, they really are one and the same. If you go back and watch some of those old episodes on 16 and Pregnant, twinning! So while I give her props for, taking in her grandson and providing him with the life that she was able to provide him with, I also think people give her way too much credit and think that she's some, heaven-sent angel when she's not. And let's also not act like grandmas don't have a massive history of treating their own children like shit, realizing how badly they messed up with their children once those kids are adults and fuck-ups, and then trying to make up for it through their grandkids. The mother that Jenelle is today is the mother that Barbara was when Jenelle was a child. But either way, after all these years of Barbara having custody of Jace, Jenelle somehow finessed her way into getting back custody of Jace. Now, Jenelle is, like I said, married to David Eason, and she's went on to have multiple other children ever since signing over custody of Jace to Barbara. So she basically has a whole new family and a whole new life that she's created that Jace has just never really been a part of. Jace leaves Barbara's house, moves into the house with Jenelle and David and the other children, and within a couple days? I'm not exactly sure, but the boy done ran away. And he ran his ass to the police station, or to the hospital, or whatever it was, and he was making reports that Jenelle's husband, David Eason, was physically abusing him. And Jace had marks not only on his arms, but around his throat. Now, let me tell you a little something about David. If you know anything about Jenelle's relationship history, all of her relationships have been incredibly toxic, incredibly abusive. And David shot the family dog in front of the other kids, okay? I need y'all to process that. David took a gun, went outside, and pew-pewed the family dog in front of the kids. Did Jenelle leave? No, because Jenelle doesn't leave a toxic relationship unless she has another toxic relationship to jump into immediately after. And for whatever reason, David's still out here roaming around with the general public. But considering Jace showed up with, extensive signs of abuse all across his body, the police started a thorough investigation. Jace is obviously most likely going to go back with Barbara. And they said they gonna lock Jenelle and David up, baby, and I am so excited. Jace is genuinely being braver than Jenelle ever has been, because Jenelle has never been able to grow a backbone when it comes to the men that she allows in her life, and she will sacrifice anything and anyone just to keep these men around. And the fact that her child is the one having to try to break the cycle, I hope Jace breaks the cycle. That poor kid has had such a toxic and chaotic life. I mean, if you go back to watch the old episodes on 16 and Pregnant, her and Barbara would be thrown down, screaming, yelling, cursing, fighting in the house. And poor Jace would be in a diaper in the corner on the floor somewhere, screaming and crying his head off. Like, that poor boy, I know for a fact, has to have some sort of PTSD, anxiety disorder, something. Because that boy has never stood a chance. And even after all that, he is still brave enough to be like, you know what? What y'all got going on under this roof ain't it. And if y'all ain't gonna do something about it, I'm gonna do something about it. So, to their local authorities, I have a few suggestions. 1, Jenelle, life in prison, solitary confinement. David Eason, do him like the dog. Firing squad.